This is Studio Photography Insights Google Plus Hangout with me, Alex Koloskov. Dave Nietzsche is not with us. And today I want to start from self-introduction from each of our participants, because I didn't do it before, and this is my fault. Well, probably lack of experience, or I just didn't think it. But guys, it's not good. So let's start from left to right. Just a few words about yourself, because you did such a great job here, and you're not just a listener, guys. So it's okay. Who just came? Okay, no, let's start from you, and then we'll go back.
Sure. Yeah, I was just posting a real quick into the stream here that we're having a hangout just to try to advertise.
So who's first? Who's gonna introduce?
Hi, I'm Jeff Creech.
Hi, Jeff. So what do you do?
I am photography is just a hobby for me, pretty much. I'm the director of online marketing for a digital agency here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Cool.
I'm Sandra Parlow, and I really am not sure what I'm doing with lighting. I'm new. I'm trying to understand Flash, so I thought if I kind of join these guys, I might learn a little something. So here I am.
Excellent.
I'm Noah Katz. I guess photography is a hobby kind of turned into a profession for me. I'm still in the beginning stages of it, so I haven't really made much money at it. Still have my quasi day job doing electronics and some other entrepreneurial type things, but photography is where I'd like to end up. And you guys came to the right place. I've been doing this with Alex and Steve here for we've been doing it for at least 3 months now, I think, 2-3 months. And yeah, just watching everybody's photos, they just improve each time, and it's amazing to watch, really.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Noah.
Yeah, I'm Steve Savoy. By profession, I'm a diesel mechanic / photographer. I love photography, and I love Alex's Hangout because it's helped a lot. And I mean a lot, because I didn't know nothing about flash photography, and since I've been hanging out with you guys, it's improved like you couldn't tell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I remember how we did first few times, and now it's just amazing. Every time I see the submissions, it's just wow, really. So thank you so much, guys. No, you said you posted some link. Is it like link to video? How you get it?
Just now?
Yeah.
Oh no, I just said that we're having a hangout now and put your name in there, just so they'd go to you to hang out.
I see. Yeah, I said sometimes people post a link to YouTube so people can, open it. I don't know.
I haven't even looked at it on YouTube, to be honest.
Okay. Anyway,
I'm always part of the hangout typically, so.
Right. Okay. Hopefully it will work. Okay, so today, unfortunately, we won't have Dave Nietzsche with us. He's got some flu probably, or I don't know, and hopefully he'll get better very soon and for sure join us next time. And yeah, today we'll be talking about our last assignment, which was the books, kind of telling story book short. And well, I need to kind of say that it was a little bit unexpected result at first, because when I was thinking about that assignment, I had no idea how different in culture we may see the books, what I have in mind and how it appear. I've seen some submissions, and Dave even had some issues with his original submission. So it's kind of funny. I probably won't go anymore the direction switching books, because anyway, we got amazing shots, and I'm going to share my screen. And let's talk. I will start the kind of critic and discuss the process. And guys, if any of you can add something, let's add. So let's participate, not just listen, because it will help. It will be more interesting. Okay. Screen share. Right here. Yep. Okay, so first, Ron Gibbs. Well, where is Ron? Anyway.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, last night he said he'd be able to join.
Yeah, well, I think it's just wrong time for the hangout because it's supposed to be Wednesday. But anyway, hopefully we'll have recording. So.
Yeah.
And actually, I do it myself now, just in case. I'm recording screen, so I won't rely on YouTube for now. Just a few more times. Okay, so cool shot. Kind of. At first, I didn't get in. When I just first looked at it, I said, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then I noticed not only the camera on one side and the iPad on another side, but the color. You see, it's like black and white on one on the left, and it comes color to the right. So from old photography was monochrome only, right, and then to colors. And well, my realistic HDR book, it's kind of surprise, and yeah, I honored to have this stuff on Ron's shell. It's amazing. So thank you, Ron, for this. And speaking of technical aspects, well, it's kind of interesting shot. I'm not sure if I really like that crop, like only shell, because it's just my imagination. But let's say if you'll see more shells from on top and on the bottom, but they will be a little bit blurred, almost like from tilt-shifted lens. Like you can get like a focus only, let's say in the middle kind of line, and still be like a little bit better composition, I think, if you get this. The whole shell, maybe like few more, just the levels of it. Plus,
just to make the photo more square, is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, some kind of, like it's more square, more like real, at least the crop is. And I don't know why color coming, if you look at the shell itself, the wood, it's like not smooth gradients, right? I don't know, is it effect or is it like lines, vertical lines of color coming and brightness coming to the shell? It's
like in the middle, you mean there?
Yeah. You see, like it's kind of supposed to be smooth transition from black and white to color, and here it's somehow get lost a little bit. It's more
I feel it's a little bit oversaturated on the right side in the red area.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's too a little bit.
Other thing I noticed too, Alex, you mentioned the black and white, and I started to see that. If you look at the books, so you got the film camera on the left, and if you look at the books, it's talking about the negatives, and then it goes into, and you said black and white, and then it goes into color photos.
Right, color.
Raw, digital. It like goes from total old school to new, right?
Yeah, it's great. The concept and it's just great, really. It's like several layers of that image we can dig.
Right.
It's cool. Anyone want to add something to this? What do you see, guys? Here, what do you see? What do you like? What do you don't like? Just tell me.
With all the lines, the horizontal lines and the vertical lines, I'm completely OCD when it comes to product photography normally. So I would have liked to see all the books in the middle be completely vertical, as opposed to just leaning slightly toward the right. But again, that's just my OCD nature.
OCD, what does it mean?
Obsessive compulsive.
Oh, okay.
It's just like perfectionism.
Okay.
I think I would have liked to seen the camera on the left side rotated, more, like I guess turn it counterclockwise to see a little bit more of the fun of it.
Yeah, maybe maybe a little more light on it on the camera as well, because I think it looks sexy, the nice camera, and it's not really visible here.
It does look a really cool camera, but I'd like to see more too.
Yep.
What about maybe fewer books, but all leaning on a 45 against the iPad?
Yeah, maybe. You see, this image is more like really telling story and kind of art, because it's not a production, right, in any perspective. So the possibilities are endless. We can do that. But yeah, I like the idea with camera, turn it more and maybe more color on it. I mean, more light, and well, yeah, I like it to see more books. But anyway, cool shot. Love it. Let's move to the next one. Okay, no, it's yours. It's, well, I like it a lot. It's hard to critique here. Maybe just few thoughts, and one of Jenya told me one of the. You know, you know what is grunge? It's
No.
like there is technique to add, you know, like a texture to
Grunge?
anything.
Grunge, yeah.
Grunge. Okay, grunge.
Oh,
Well, my
grunge.
English is
Okay.
always my big friend. Thank you, guys. Grunge. So she said if you add some grunge here, it will look, you know, more like antique, and it will play a little bit better with, you know, the idea.
You mean on the background?
No, the whole thing. Probably books and rings, maybe somehow. I'm not sure about background. It looks, you know, like very nice product shot, you know, like polished, which is cool. But it's just an idea about that grunge or some, you know, texture on the books, especially on the books.
I see.
That's one of the thoughts. Another one, maybe, you know, it's a little bit too parallel. I mean, the books, like maybe I turn the red book a little bit more. Just
So you can see the top of it more?
Yeah.
Like I
So
guess
it will-
counterclockwise a little bit.
Yeah, right. So it will be less aligned, you know, like horizontally.
Mm-hmm.
The rings itself, well, I remember now. But first I thought it's rings and it works. So it was bracelets, right?
Yeah, they're actually bracelets. Yeah.
So and it's one shot, right? You didn't do it in Photoshop. You really hang 3 bracelets there, right?
This was one exposure. I did do Photoshop to remove I used fishing line to hold the bracelets. Photoshop just to clean the image up, sharpen it a little bit, remove the fishing line, add the sparkles.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's amazing because I never thought, you know, you can do 3 of them in one shot. Yeah, I thought it was complex. But that's great. What else, guys? Any?
I'm not sure if it's is it a blue gel on the background?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's light spill onto the top of the book or if it's actually just the book being reflective, reflecting the background, but the kind of bluish tinge to the cover. I think you could get a little bit more contrast and color out of the book maybe even if you just use a circular polarizer to reduce the reflection. If it was that, if not, you could flag it just to get some of that spill off.
Yeah, I don't know how I get the flag though, because if you looked at on my blog actually, and I think on Alex's forum I posted some behind the scenes photos, and so it's white foam core. It's probably about 1.5 to 2 feet behind the table, and the book is green. It's a green leather bound book. So
right.
I see what you mean. I wasn't sure the best way to. I thought, I'll flag it. To get the background, I ended up having to flag both sides of my table to even get the color to show up, because the lights I had in the front were blasting away the background.
Let me see if I can drop it here.
Yeah.
I was trying to grab the shot.
What are you trying to show?
Yeah, the
registration.
Here, I can get this real quick. I
don't know why it's
The
not.
windows. Yeah. It was attached to your window.
It's supposed to, but anyway.
I took it
I
off.
will pull those up real quick
Probably
here.
set it on the desk that was there. Have you seen anything like that?
Book shot. Here we go.
Did you see any papers?
Okay,
Share
yeah.
my screen.
Oh, you're gonna share, okay.
Yeah, I think sharing my screen is probably the best way, huh? Let's see. Share.
Yeah, it was there.
Oh, do you see it?
Yeah, it was just a
share
second there.
There we go. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so let's see.
Right.
That's kind of the front. You can see how I've got the the flags in the front. I don't know. Can you see my mouse? Oh yeah, you can see my mouse. Okay. Yeah, so I've got like these 3 flags here with a softbox on top, and I had to put these two foam cores here because I wanted the light on the front, and the soft boxes were the lights on the front were blasting out the background. So this kept the light from spilling onto the background. So then the light there's a light down here. It's actually my off-camera, just an SB800 Nikon flash, and then I put what's it called, gel on top of that, aiming at the background. And then there's another overall shot. Here's a close-up. So it's just a piece of glass with some, painted white, black on one side. And I tried it. I have another one with white painted, but I think the black looks a lot better. And here you can kind of see the background. And this is where I was hanging the bracelets, right? These little pieces of paper.
Okay, I see now. That Jeff gave a very interesting thought about the top green book, which is a little bit bluish because it reflects blue background. But imagine that you will put somewhere a little piece of white cardboard and highlight it with one more light, just the way that it will reflect. It will be reflected on the top book, on the cover. And you know what it will do? It will highlight all the gold foil, it will look very cool. The book will kind of start shining if you catch that reflection from the piece of white, bright white.
You're saying maybe put it up above like here, maybe angled so it catches the light from the front, maybe.
Yeah, I think to get reflection, it should be somewhere close to background.
Okay.
Well, maybe instead of background at some point, higher than the frame, so it won't be visible in the frame, but it will be really close in the background because that's the angle, right? It's very sharp angle, so the reflection should come from the background.
I see. Okay.
I use this trick many times when I need to. Well, it's basically the physics, right? You need to, if it's sharp angle, you need to put something really behind the scene to get reflection from. But this way, I can highlight interesting pieces of the composition, like having something really on the ground, very bright on exactly that spot.
But now if I put it off the background angled down, wouldn't I be picking up the blue? Wouldn't that just reflect back down onto the book? Or would are you thinking in a single shot here, or blending too?
Well, it could be a single shot, but it just should be kind of isolated, that reflective piece.
I mean, I guess one thought I could have done is taken away the gel and shot it again, and then just blended in the cover of the book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? Because then I would have definitely had that perfect reflected gradient back down on top of it.
Yep. And you said gradient, and now I see that it may benefit from having. Let me share it because I kind of talking and not. It will benefit if it would have smaller gradient, brighter area in the middle of the frame, and then just more darker, on the round. Because here it's hard to see the gradient, and usually more gradient, more dramatic shot. So it will probably add to it.
Maybe more blue in the middle, and then fading out.
Yeah, just add some snoot to that light, which you use for background. So it will be narrower spot on it, and it should do the trick. You already have flags from the front softboxes, so they shouldn't highlight too much. So it can be darker.
Okay.
Cool.
Sweet.
Any other thoughts?
I kind of would like that middle ring to have been a little bit higher, because they're just kind of even there, and then they slope down, and I think it might have been nice to have it just a little bit offset from that.
Yeah, I agree. Agree too. That's why. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So I was just going to say it, and I'm kind of a Lord of the Rings fan. I can't help but wonder how this would have looked had it been in some green, being like in a bush or in with pine boughs around it or something like that. Because every time I think of Lord of the Rings, I think of the beautiful scenery and everything that was all throughout that whole movie, and it just was magical, right? And it might have been interesting to have that kind of a background in it. But that's, again, me just being kind of emotional about the shot.
Well, that's why I love when my wife is present on the shot. She sees something so completely different than me, like engineer, technical person sees, and it's just amazing. Very, very good thoughts. Yeah.
I totally agree with you on the middle ring, though. At first I had it low, and I actually had them all on the left side. They were kind of just three stacked on top of, not totally on top of each other, a little staggered, and I didn't like all the empty space above the book, so I did this, and yeah, I took a lot of shots with this, and then I finally liked something. Yeah, of course, the more you look at something, right, even yourself, you're like, oh man, I could have done this. So.
Oh, I got one more thought about you, the last one. Imagine that, like I said, the gradient is darker and brighter in the middle, but much darker outside. Okay. And flame on those rings. I know it's completely different, but imagine it will have the flame, so complete Lord of the Rings, you know.
Well, somebody had posted, I don't know if we shared it, so I don't know if it was mine or yours. Somebody had posted, like, it was like a joke, having lions jumping through all the hoops.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then I said, and then I thought of flames too. I thought that would have been cool. I did try. I actually took this shot with. I tried it with a yellow gel and a red gel and this blue gel. And the red, it was just too much because of the red book. The yellow was way too much because of the green book. The blue was something. I thought it was more dramatic with the blue, but I totally agree about the top of the green book, Jeff. I think there's too much blue in it.
Yeah, I mean, just in the actual your behind-the-scenes shot, you can see the gold kind of sparkle, the one that, is basically shot with ambient light.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. That was productive. Okay. Well, then let's jump to this one. Sandra, it's yours, right?
Yes.
A lot of blood. Guys, well, cool shot, and yeah, I don't watch, at least these days, those horror movies, but yeah, I see where it's kind of coming from, and it looks cool. Let me talk about like technical sides, what I would do, having this idea, kind of, if I need to shoot it, what I would do slightly different, I would say. The first, again, the Zhenya first found that the framing, it's too close. It's a little bit too close. Leave a little bit more space, just all around. Both corners, the right bottom and left top, it's just too close to the corners. That's easy one, right?
Right.
And the lighting, the trim light, that's what was missing. Remember I told you. While it has interesting lights from the front or maybe a little bit from the side, so we see the metal of the knife. But the handle is really getting a little bit lost. Well, maybe it's fine for kind of this composition, but I always think as a product shot, and I see, oh, why we don't see product enough. So I was thinking to get light from behind, it probably from the left side, just to draw a small edge light around the handle.
Okay.
And yeah, it may also add some additional kind of maybe color, maybe sparks to the liquid, any kind of liquid, because when you hit liquid from behind, it reflects some light, refracts other light, and it looks interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, whole shot, guys. What do you think?
I think it's got a lot of emotion to it.
Yeah.
I did a nice shot several weeks ago. We did like an emotional splash in liquid shot. I did the same sort of thing, a knife with blood. So, but I think what Alex said, I think I posted it on the forum too. I thought it was a little bit too tight in the corners. I would have liked to see maybe another light, maybe on the pools of blood a little bit, so like maybe more definition. I'd like the lighting on the book itself, like those little little highlights in the the worn areas on the binding. And I agree with that handle with the rim lighting. That would have given it more, I guess, more depth on the handle.
I darkened that handle a lot because it was a very light colored wood, and I thought that it was it was almost the brightest thing in the picture, and I didn't want that to be the focus, so I did tone that down. But I can see what you mean about needing a little bit of light on it just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension because it looks pretty flat.
Right. Like,
Yeah, right.
like
And
you said you blended. You said you had blended this shot, right?
I did. Sorry,
Yeah,
you know what? I only have one flash.
Oh no, I mean.
Well, no, it's great. Why sorry? It's great when you can do stuff with only one flash. It's like, you know, it's getting job done with minimum resources. It's great. No,
Don't worry, Sandra. I do the same.
And you know, and it's, I was gonna say, as for like it being tight, I did crop it tight because I always have a terrible problem with my backgrounds. I have too many shadows in them, and I can see, like, I had this on I had a black curtain kind of, you know, my backdrop, and then I had a piece of glass on top of it because I didn't want the corn syrup to be all over my backdrop. So, but my glass is fairly small, and you could see the edges of it, and so that's why I cropped them out, because you know, I thought that it would be, obviously, it wouldn't look good, but yeah, I do agree that it should have been a little bit more space. And then after I shot it, I thought, oh my God, the blood doesn't show up very good on the black, and so I I was working on it a while in Photoshop, trying to make that blood come out more red. But I wanted the black because if it had been white or another color, it might not have been as sinister looking. But maybe I should have had like a gradient in the back or something. But I don't know how to do that.
Well, yeah, with one light, it's you know, with one light it's probably easier to do it in Photoshop, just a digital background, if you need gradient, because here you can easily cut it, right? I mean, clip out the background. But it looks kind of good like this.
Yeah.
The only I see what you did, and you did actually right thing for the handle. Because the brightness of that wood, it's perfect. It shouldn't be brighter than this. But you know, it's very interesting when you actually leave subject, at least some part of the subject, relatively dark. But when you add the trim light, it gives an edge, and the look, you will love it. Just try it.
Okay.
Some dark stuff with edge, because you have you know, like the light from the back. It gives a definition, and the look is pretty cool.
Okay.
After that.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. One other thing, I tend to look at things from Alex's perspective too, kind of generally product photography as well. And Alex has a lot of great blog posts on the subject of when you're actually photographing reflective objects like the actual knife blade itself. It somewhat looks like you've lit the blade directly with a flash, when with reflective objects, you really need to light what they're reflecting. So in this case, actually putting a piece of foam board, white foam board, and then lighting that will give you a nice kind of smooth gradient on the blade itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you so much, Steph. It's exactly. I kind of completely forgot about. Yes, Sandra. It's a great thing. It's like, yeah. So to shoot a mirror, you can't highlight the mirror directly, right? Because
Right.
here it's the same. It's just if you highlight some piece of cardboard, you can kind of do any type of gradient, anything you want, and it will be reflected on the blade. So it will.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very good, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the next one. Well, there is no name on it. I think it was, who did it? Guys, put name on the image, file name. Well, Paul, maybe Paul did it? Anyway, yeah. Yeah, well, I think Paul did it. Okay, I'll start talking, then we'll see. So this kind of confusing a little bit. Why? I mean, I like it as a photo. It's kind of an interesting composition. But when I look at this image, I see the great portrait of Steve Jobs. And portrait is great, but it's kind of, it's hard to see the book, you know. And well, but like I said, the composition, the whole idea, it's interesting, right? We have the share stock on top. We have the So it's kind of money aspect. Then we have product, the iPad, and Steve. So it was like Steve with his product and with his money, with all that sort, which is kind of cool telling story shot, but from product perspective, there is no product. There is great shot of Steve here, the portrait basically, which I'm not going to critique because, well, there is nothing to critique there for me.
Okay.
So.
This is Paul Bartel's shot, by the way.
What? Say it again?
It's Paul his name
Oh,
is
Paul. Okay, Paul. Okay.
Yeah. I think he's in the UK, I think, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Somewhere. He said he would watch it. He has to watch it the next day.
Yeah. So cool shot. Great idea behind it. Just out of my kind of area of expertise, I would say. Would you add something, guys, to it?
I think the lighting's okay. I like, you can see the book.
Well, yeah, we see the book.
I agree with you. It's just I'm not sure what he's trying to convey here.
So it was probably more like not a book shot, but
well, probably tried to convey that the achievements of Steve Jobs. Like you see in the background the iPad and the iMac.
Yeah, so it's more about Steve Jobs, right? Yeah, he's a great guy. He was a great guy.
It's cool. I think he said he had to drag the shutter for 10 seconds, so it's cool. He did it in one shot, so he illuminated the iPad. So
I see. Wow, yeah, that's interesting then. Yeah. Okay, let's move to the next one then. Okay, Stephen Scott image here. Interesting concept, like storybooks are not dead, with little girl and that kind of big palms and book on it. But from technical standpoint, it's a way to go to the kind of to look really cool, because everything from how girl was clipped out from the background, it wasn't accurate at all, I would say. Because we kind of see we see how it was clipped out. And the book, well, what I would probably do if I need to display that book, open-end book somehow, I would use like small spotlight, very narrow spotlight, to draw light across the book and leave all the area. The rest area is relatively black, so draw like a big gradient, well, not big, but intense gradient. So girls looking, let's say, at that corner, let's draw the really bright line of the light through the book and have the rest plus background completely dark. So it's like a girl and then a huge book in the darkness somewhere. So we need to add some drama to this picture, plus to do technically, better. But the idea is interesting, and it just needs to be worked out. That's my thoughts. Anyone want to add something?
The fingers, his hands holding up the book.
Yeah.
I probably would have removed those. And like you said, I think the girl could have been cropped out a little better or finished off a little better, because you can kind of see where some of the picture, like behind her back and behind her head, it looks like there's some black little splotches there. I'm thinking that's from the original picture.
Yeah.
And her head's square on top. It's flat.
Yeah. So a little bit more careful work and a little bit more work with lighting. Just use some snoot or make it, tube, add it to your light, and you can draw more interesting stuff with like more directional light.
So you're thinking of throwing light like from the bottom right corner, shooting up toward like that moon?
Well, it was some big softbox. Yeah, I don't know where it was, but it's when you have something relatively big, it doesn't matter where you put it. It was somewhere on the front, right?
That's true.
And probably right side, because left is darker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of see it if I would do it, I would do different. And I understand the idea with palms. It's like, well, they're big, and if we need palms, it should be more visible that it was a palms, this book. If it's like this, yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a little bit kind of strange. So.
Yeah, it's like what Jenny says about a white background. If you want a white background, make it white. Don't have it, 1% gray, right?
Exactly, yeah.
I keep an eye out for that now.
Okay. Yeah, it's that rule came from a lot of product shots because you can't leave it and said, oh, what is that? That's not white. Okay, Steve, it's yours. Oh, Steve.
I think he just disappeared.
Oh, he did disappear. Wow, I didn't even know.
Steve, we lost you.
Oh, he's coming back. There he is.
Okay. Just in time. Yeah,
Awesome, Steve.
Just in time.
I'm back.
It's yours. Interesting shot again. I like, guys, how you think about it.
I was just when that old paste up here.
Oh. Let me mute.
Oh, you got him?
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I think I didn't do it. Anyway, so what I would do here, kind of without changing the idea, because let's move to this. I mean, let's assume we have this idea. Probably a little bit more light on the girl face, little bit, not much, but I don't know, and maybe a little bit different angle, maybe a little bit from top for the book. And for sure, I would fix this little on the bottom, because if this old book, it's fine. We need to show more that it's old and kind of have this kind of stuff. But if it's not really visible here, so I would clean it for sure. What else? Again, maybe a little bit more gradient on the book. I mean, more directional light, so it will be like some kind of spot. Not spot, but the line coming through the book. I mean, the bright line and then darker all around. What else? Hard to think. Guys, what do you think? How would you do different? What you would do different here?
Yeah,
I can't help but notice how it almost looks like that dragon is coming out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And I think unless that was the intention, which would be pretty cool too, but if it wasn't, then it might be neat to just kind of pull her face to the right a little bit so that it didn't look that way, if that wasn't what you were intending to do.
No,
But I like it. It's really neat.
Actually, the intention was to create the idea that the dreams come from books when you read them. So I was planning to show that he's falling asleep and dreaming of dragons and.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, I mentioned
By the way, that's my son. It's not a girl.
Oh, well, I don't know why I thought it's a girl. I don't know,
It's
really.
hard to tell. I'd like to see the eyes a little bit more too, so you could actually see that they're closed. I mean, it's inferred, you know that they are, but just a little bit of light on the eyes would be a little bit nice too.
I had a lot more exposure on this frame. I just darkened all the top to not show too much of the face, not to let's say not too much highlight on that spot. Because the idea was to shoot a book, not the face, so I was dragging more attention to the book.
Well, it's still, when you have even a little bit of face, it's usually kind of draw attention as well, because it's always kind of our power, anything, any object, if it's, human face. I would really love kind of to shoot something like this with a little, probably with just a flashlight, spot one, to create, like several spots, somewhere on the book, then maybe like on a cheek of your son, a little bit, or like touch your cheek, and here and there, and it may give some kind of, that fairy tale look. Like when you do light painting, light brush painting, or how you call it.
Okay.
It gives that kind of little bit unusual look. Well,
Yeah.
it's just a thought. Okay, cool shot. Thank you, Steve.
Thanks.
Let's move to this one. Blood. Again, book and blood. Guys, what doing? Well, first I thought, oh, this guy just put a book beside the window and shoot it. But then I seen the lighting setup, and it's cool. It's like a soft box and with those things to make it look like a window, which is pretty cool, the idea. But here, same probably thing, what I would do. I mean, same as what I told Sandra, add light from behind, some rim light from the left side. Because the knife the handle is too dark. Maybe it's on my monitor, but it's kind of a little bit too dark. And the tip of it's a little bit too dark as well. But on the other hand, the blood, especially the blood which is on table, doesn't look like a blood because it's glowing. Blood is not transparent, right? So, and plus I would rotate book because it's two in parallel. We need more crossed, you know, that kind of thing. That's what I would do. Any suggestions?
I would have liked to see like a drip coming off the tip of that knife.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You know, he would probably have to have blended the shot. I feel it's a little too tight on the right side. I feel it's a little cramped to me.
Yeah, I agree about.
And then all the lighting that you said, the rim lighting, and that's a little dark on the left side of the knife. I agree with that.
Well, and like Jeff noticed on the shot, the knife itself can have nice reflection.
Right.
In the metal from some reflector or whatever diffuser. It will only on the edge to this photo, because yeah. So good concept, just need to be worked out. It's kind of a verdict for this, right? Okay, let's move to the next one. 30. That's funny shot. Smile too when I look at first. And it's interesting. It's like a floating on top of the table. I mean, that's not that. I don't know, was it intentional or not, but interesting effect. Beside the white. What I would do different here?
I think it would have been cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it would have been cool to have some little scribbles, kind of parodying some of the apps or something on an iPad. You know, have actually something written on the pad to relate back.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. It should be somehow more interesting, more stuff maybe added here, more drama somewhere. Because the interesting concept, but it's a little bit kind of too plain, you know, for the storytelling thing. I understand the story, but a little bit more details, maybe. Yeah, some words on that, not bad. Good idea. The lighting itself is nice. I don't know. I think it's just as good as you can do here without. Well. So for me, you see, it's interesting. I just start noticing if I don't see the product shot, it's hard for me to critique because basically it's, like I said, it's not my area where I kind of work on. You give me a product, and yeah, I can talk a lot about it. How to do
That's what Dave Nietzsche is pretty good at.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Dave can tell a lot about this, I hope. So Dave, send us a mail about this.
Yeah.
Or critique on the forum. Yeah, Dave, when you get better, just maybe a few words if you want to drop on the forum about the images you like or not like. It'll be cool. Because you know you have good thoughts about this stuff. Okay, this one. I didn't read this book, so is it about money and apples?
It was about, what did he write? They wrote something, it was like the stock market or yeah, something to do with the markets, you know.
Okay,
money.
I see. So
Not
Apple
money.
is, I see. So it's interesting telling story actually short, right? Because it's money, and Apple, it's one of the brands which costs a lot of money, and you know you can make money on Apple or you can lose it. We'll see soon. It's grow too much, right? Okay, from the lighting and kind of product photographer perspective, it's a little bit kind of out of focus, some of those coins, and well, I kind of want to see them more in focus, not only the book title and after name, and same for apples. Somehow we lost the sharpness on them. What else?
They seem about a bit flat, the apples too. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a sense of them being round, you know, a round apple.
Yeah, it's again to how we make things not flat. Gradient on them. If they will be darker on one side and brighter from another, it will be more like spherical feeling from them. Now it's flat, so it's, and I think it was some relatively large softbox, or well, at least light source from somewhere left side front. Maybe we need to make it not a softbox, like again the diffuser, and create a gradient on the diffuser. Coins will look better with gradient instead of just flat coins. Here it's a little bit of gradient, but not enough. Imagine that they will reflect some dark and brighter area. They will look much better. Any glossy stuff will look better, and it should help apples as well. So instead of using softbox directly, put something between softbox and subject, some bigger reflector or a diffuser. It can be anything like that translucent plastic I use. You can buy the big roll for $30, 40, and yeah, just move that softbox so it will create a gradient on that reflector, and you'll see it will be interesting effect.
Yeah, I think it's probably a little too shallow of a depth of field. It looks like it was actually shot all on black, and then the gradient was added in post. So when he was actually cutting out the apple and the book, you can kind of see that it looks a little weird. And actually, if you'll notice in that little bunch of coins directly to the left of the apple, you can actually see the holes where the gradient wasn't added.
Ah.
Yep. Yeah.
There's like 2 or 3 areas that should be cut out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, more careful post-production.
And the fringe around the apple kind of gives it away too, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know this website, Photoshop Disasters? Zhenya loves it. It's I forgot the correct URL, but basically it's about Photoshop disasters when it made to the cover page and advertisement and people then posting that stuff. It's amazing what you can see there. So retouching is very dangerous. Pay attention when you retouch, because well, when you start doing it, you know, for client, it may be issues. I remember it was one thing we did was when I shoot 100 of people, more than 100 people just standing in front of me. It was like a parade shot. Relatively simple. I didn't like shooting stuff like this, but we did it. And they were standing on the parking lot with all those lines, you know, parking lines and some other stuff. And we had to remove everything and leave like a nice, pretty asphalt instead. So we did it, and accidentally somehow moved one guy's head slightly. And because it was 100 people, we didn't notice it. One head was, you know, in post-production was. And then several days later, they said, when it was posted, they kind of approved it and everything was fine. They used somewhere, and they said, oh, you know, these guys are somebody, I forgot them, some manager of, what did you do to them? So it was a disaster. So,
I've seen a few recent posts. I don't know if it was Virginia that there was a Target, like a catalog shot of like a family of 4, and the guy's got his arm around the wife, and it's on her shoulder, but then there's another hand on her waist.
Yeah. Is that on the beach? Is that couple? I feel like I've seen that one before.
Yeah, it was only posted recently, and there was another one with Kate Moss and her daughter, and the daughter's kind of like there with her arm around her mom, and the hand, they were retouching the mom, and they cut off the tips of the daughter's fingers. They just did all wrong.
Serious business.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Business. So, photographer can do mistakes, retoucher can't, because it's the last,
Right.
Last
They should
stage.
fix the mistakes, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay, Muhammad Ali shot. Very interesting. Great shot, and well, I just can say wow about the product itself, if you would say it's a product. I don't know. I think I didn't read the post how he got this stuff there, but it looks awesome. From the technical standpoint, many things can be improved. I'm not sure if I kind of really like that tint, orange or white balance tint. But anyway, if photographer likes it, let's say it's fine. But I would probably add light, more light sources. It was light from the left, right, fused on the big background. And I would add light from behind on the right to kind of create an edge maybe on those little trees, and from the right, like a rim light. Plus the book, well, it's a little bit darker, the front of the book as well, maybe a little bit more light there. What else? Crop, maybe too tight, again, a little bit step back like few inches and it will look cool. Well, it looks better. It looks cool. Right now as well. What else, guys? What do you think?
I would have liked.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to see the book rotated about just a little bit counterclockwise, so that left side, the white edge you see, would be parallel with the crop itself. Maybe a spot, kind of like my gradient, how you said it would be nice to have, instead of it all being the same color, have maybe a bright spot or darker spot, and then just fading out. I think that would have looked good on here too.
Yeah, because it almost looks like not even like a color, like almost like a white balance. Because book, it should be much whiter than the background if it's just an orange, let's say, background. And again, if you think about landscape, imagine that if you would have like a sun, almost sun, so bright spot on left top corner, orange, let's say, and kind of darker area all around. Again, maybe more pronounceable gradient. It's really cool.
Yeah, I think the white, you might be right on the white balance, because if the book, like the left side was whiter, I think the green of the grass would be greener.
Right, yeah, it's more like white balance. I think photographers want it this way, because for sure, it's easy fixable right here, one click to make white balance. But like I said, instead I would probably use orange gel and correct white balance. It will look more interesting.
I'd like to see that line in the background a bit further back, because it's not parallel with the end of the back of the book. Well, it's not parallel, but no, what I mean is.
You mean that line where the table ends and the vertical?
Yeah.
Okay, so the background starts.
Either the line not there, or maybe at the edge of the back of the book.
Yeah. You know what? I just got this idea how I would shoot this book. Let's say this book is some kind of a product shot or art shot which I need to shoot. I would probably put it on, so it will be no background at all under the book. Book will be like a floating in darkness. And the sun will be rising like sun, well, maybe it's sunset or sunrise. On the left side, I would put real, how we call the strobe there to highlight all the stuff like a sun. So it will be hitting directly the camera, at least like maybe some little bit, not half, well, half of it or so. and then put some reflector from other side to just highlight it. So probably we'll do with the same one light, but it's like more darkness and just bright orange sun coming from the left side and highlighting the whole book only. That's kind of the idea. Yeah. What else? Sandra, what do you think?
That's actually...
Do you like it?
I do like it, and I like the warm, like the orange glow to me says it's evening when people are out for their walk, and to me that tells the story. If it was a different time of day, and the shadows would be a lot different too, you know, so, I mean, it is, you can see that the light is coming from the left side.
Right.
And to me, I like the orange color. I like your idea too, though, of the book kind of floating as though it's the Earth or the planet itself right there.
How would
I'm
you do
looking
that?
at the,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I'm looking at the behind-the-scenes picture he attached, and it looks like he's got a giant piece of foam core to the left of the table, and it looks like he has the orange cover on an SB600. So I don't think it's white balance. I think it actually is an orange gel that's being reflected into a big white piece of foam core. But I was thinking this along the similar lines of Alex, actually having the light source in the shot and possibly having almost some flare introduced into the shot could really kind of add to the landscape concept. But
Thank you. Yeah. But interesting shot, and even more interesting the subject itself.
yeah.
Okay. Jeff, I think it's yours, right?
Yep.
Wow. I can only say wow. Really.
Yeah.
Cool shot.
Yeah. It's
Great.
It's a great shot, really. I love the idea. I love that the letters coming with milk, and I love that it was a milk article in the book. Well, it's great. From technical side, well, splash looks great, and well, it was real, right? He was putting the milk on the book. Okay, yeah, poor book. Anyway, the only thing, this little bit kind of blurred. Why did it get blurred here?
Yeah, I actually posted it on. I'm part of I shoot for the editorial magazines for a bunch of the car tuning magazines. And so I have a Facebook group of a bunch of photography buddies that I actually showed this to and got feedback from them before I even posted it. And one of the things, I actually cut that puddle out. The whole right edge I followed the exact lines of the puddle. The left edge, I had to basically form that shape, the kind of to loop back. And some of the feedback I got was that it almost looked too much like paste. It almost looked too thick. So my attempt to blur it, I actually used the smudge tool. My attempt was to make the layer look a little bit thinner.
Oh, I see.
Like it's a little bit transparent. I realized I didn't really do that. It looks like one side's sharp and one side's blurry, which is a little bit weird. But, that was at least my rationale, was I was trying to make the layer look a little bit thinner. I just didn't really have any good way to do it. But
Well, cool shot. Okay, did you post the lighting setup?
Yeah, I posted one shot of it.
Share? For some reason, I can't pull it up. I mean, I usually drag it and it works, but I can't do it right now.
Let me see.
Let me see. Maybe I have it here, but I would like to show it a little bit. This. Oh, I think I got it. Let me drag it. Yeah, I have it. Okay, so that was how it was done.
Yeah. So I didn't want to. That's actually one of my parents' 1997 encyclopedia. It had gold foil on the edges of the pages, so I didn't want to throw milk on it.
Oh, yeah, that's all.
So I shot the encyclopedia by itself, and then kind of getting back to how I'm somewhat OCD about it. I made this little rig, and I think I posted that in the forum too, to actually sit the book on, and it was great for actually positioning the book at the correct angle how I wanted it. but in terms of actually the book being symmetrical, it didn't do really good because the milk page was obviously not right in the middle of the encyclopedia, so it was always kind of leaning toward one side. So I actually duplicated the left half of the book and mirrored it to the right, and then painted over all the letters, the article on the right side, and then took the letters from another shot and overlaid it on like a darkened layer.
All right.
If
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah. It's perfectly symmetrical.
Right, so that it's perfectly symmetrical. And then the milk, the actual kind of splash part of the milk it's basically two shots. It's mostly one shot. The little drips on the bottom edge are another. But pretty much it was just two shots there. And then in regards to the background, I basically removed everything from the shot and just took a picture of the snooted background. So I cut out the book and put it on top of that. So it's probably 6 or 7 shots in total.
But background itself, I mean, it could be done with the book, right? It's not nothing which, well, you could do it in one shot. I mean,
yeah,
the background, right?
Yeah.
What I really like here, how you did the milk. It was exactly the same setup, right?
Yeah. I didn't move the lights at all.
Yeah, and as you see, it's kind of the milk it belongs there because the shadows on the milk and on the book play together. I mean, I see the real stuff, or it's coming from the book. Because sometimes even when I do splashes, I move lights. Let's say I shoot product, and then I need to add splashes, and I cannot do it in one shot for some reason. So I shoot in splashes alone, and I need to move lights because the lights for product doesn't work. So, and it's a little bit tricky sometimes to fit it in one composition. Here it was great.
Yeah. My biggest problem is I only have two Einsteins that I use, and then I have 4 B800s, Alien B, just normal B800s, which have the kind of the slower flash duration. So normally when I'm doing any type of liquid photography, I always have to move the lights because I'm only using the 2 Einsteins. So I have the same problem.
I have 4 Einsteins and like 4 more, but no Einsteins, so I kind of limit it with 4. I need to sell the rest and buy a few Einsteins, or I don't know. But it's kind of funny to use. It's even interesting to try to use the least lights as I used to be, because I was using 6, 7, and it was cool. I need light. Okay, let me add more light. Here it's kind of start thinking, let me add the reflector there or foil from that side, so to eliminate needness of lights.
So Jeff, the article, the pages that we're looking at, are they part of the book then, or are they something you put there?
They are both. They are both actual pages of the encyclopedia, but because of it being symmetrical, when I flipped that half, obviously the right side, then the text was backwards as well. Right. So I had to basically take the text from the other shot of the actual milk article and add it over, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah. And then in that shot where you're splashing, what are you actually splashing on? Just a sheet? It looks like something with like a sheet protector.
Yeah, it was kind of a bad idea as well. I should have just done it on a white piece of paper. I actually did it on a white piece of paper with copy, with actual letters on it, which was a pain because I then had to go with the healing brush and clone all that stuff out because it was a different size. So I didn't do myself any favors, but it's just a binder with like the plastic covering and then just a piece of paper on it. When the piece of paper was wet, it just kind of stuck to the plastic, so it didn't go anywhere. But
then for the letters inside the milk, where you just kind of take...
That's all Photoshop, That's all just text, just typing. I actually, I signed my name in there somewhere. I forget.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's interesting protection, right?
Yeah.
It's hidden watermark. Milky mark. Yeah, great shot. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, one more milk today. Here, I like the idea. It's kind of funny, like the cookies and the book, you know, kind of got eaten a little bit. More work on light should be done in terms of we need more gradients, we need more darker areas, brighter to get some definitions. I'm not sure about, maybe I would lower camera a little bit to make, you know, well, I think it will look a little bit better if I lower it. Lights, more gradients, what else? The rest is, well, pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I posted a message on this. I like the idea on this one a ton, but I was saying it'd be cool if he kind of made it more of the standard kind of food shot. Actually, put it by a giant window with just lots of natural light. Use a really shallow depth of field, and from a lower angle, like you were saying, Alex, and really kind of frame it like it's a food cover shot as opposed to a picture of a book.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's interesting when you start talking about food. Yeah, to the shallow depth of field. And to show this, the pieces of book with kind of eaten, yeah, it will look cool. Agree, Jeff. Good thought. Yeah. But what can eat book like this? What device? Guys, what do you think?
So I was just wondering, how did he cut that book like that?
Oh,
that must have been kind of hard.
Oh, the thing which can make big holes in walls, that
reciprocating saw?
drill bit with like big, well, my English is not good for those kind of things, but yeah, I think I have few things like this, and they probably can do damage like this in this. Okay, let's move to next one. Chris Kruzanek. He submitted just 15 minutes before the hangout, actually. Yeah, Office Kama Sutra, it's fun. It's fun shot, a fun idea. Well, from technical standpoint, what I can do? More lights more definition on the pieces, especially this one maybe. Because again, if it's like a product shot, even several subjects are products, and we need to, make look them better. Because the tape itself looks cool, but the whole, device, it's not really visible. So we need to have, again, some reflector from a front left side, some gradient in the reflector, and it will create nice gradient over here on that relatively, it's almost glossy plastic, which will look cool. So we need to fix this. This part, again, maybe a little bit more reflections. This is glossy stuff, so it can be interesting to have some, maybe even sharp reflection from not a soft box, but from like small light source somewhere, some sparks, But again, if we think about the whole idea, the book is very visible, great, and we see what it's all about, and those accessories, maybe they need to look like this, just, So, I don't know, what do you think, guys? What are your thoughts?
Well, I'd actually change that roll of tape for a roll of duct tape.
Yeah.
I see.
Because Scotch tape, I don't know, it doesn't work too much in there.
But it's office, though. It's office, so the tape represents the office part of things.
That's true.
I mean, a stapler maybe would have been cool.
Yeah. And what is this? What is on the background? Is it like I'm probably missing something in my life?
Looks like
that looks like a corset.
Like a corset or something.
Okay, right. Oh, yeah. So I'm really missing that.
It's subtle, right? It's enough to let you know.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's fun. Office Kama Sutra. An interesting book. I'm wondering. I would like to look inside.
You know what? I think there is a stapler in there. I think that's what the handcuffs are on.
Oh, you're right. That's totally what that is.
So, yeah, if that was lit a little more, you'd be able to tell, because I've been sitting here all this time trying to figure out what are those handcuffs hooked on.
Yeah, looks like a stapler. Agree. And again, we
Yeah.
need to add more definition on those little accessories. I would say, especially more visible. Yeah, but cool idea. Nice. Yeah. Okay, let's move this to this one. Blood again, book again.
Okay.
It's very was actually it was very unusual for me. First, it was a lot of like religion stuff about the books, which completely missing for me because like I've seen first Bible probably at 16 years old or something because in Soviet Union, come on, it's not a Bible, it's a constitution. That's what we seen from the like 1 year old and so it was unusual. And plus blood. For me, it's like, wow, so many blood stuff. Bloody books, you have. Yeah, so interesting shot, interesting idea, and I remember what Bill Cahill was saying about this, that it just needs more work with light and maybe with composition, and I agree. More dramatic light, again, more darker area, more brighter area, some not that little bit plain. Because this kind of look with that, kind of emotion and the expression goes, we need to have light that's the same. Kind of brighter area, darker, more shadows, But here it's like the top of it is dark, basically, maybe not enough, and this is bright. I would play somewhere, have maybe some light here and dark here, and maybe a spot to move somewhere. So, and blood is not really bloody here. It's jam, the strawberry, or maybe the other. So,
Yeah, I've learned my lesson.
the best
It's hard to
blood
make
I
it
see.
look real.
It's hard because if you use them, but go
No,
to. Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I actually got some cool recipes on the internet to make blood, and it looks awesome when you make it. It's basically corn syrup, water, red coloring, flour, or cornstarch to thicken it, and some chocolate milk, like the liquid concentrate,
Sure.
just to add a tint.
Chocolate, right? So to make it not transparent, right? Not.
Yeah, just like blood when it starts to coagulate, it becomes like kind of brownish. And I've experimented with this week, and it looks great.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I have blood. I remember I went to Party City, and it was like Halloween time, and I got this bottle of blood. It says blood. And when I seen it, open it, well, it's real. I mean, it's all like real. I couldn't see so.
I hope it's not real.
Well, it doesn't smell like real, so at least.
I'll tell you, I learned my lesson though when I did that knife shot and I had the blood and I wasn't, that was the one where I couldn't participate, and I watched it the next day, and Bill Cahill said it looked like I killed a jelly donut.
Yeah. Sandra, you have some interest in blood, and remember you said it's hard. I mean, you cannot tell us what was blood, right? Or can you? No?
No, that was actually just corn syrup and red food coloring, and I did put chocolate like syrup in it, like that you put in your milk. And I had to play with it a lot to darken it up because in some spots it looked kind of magenta, so it was a challenge.
I see. Yeah, blood was good.
Like I said, if you add some flour to it, it's really gonna cut the opacity of it, like make it more opaque. It won't be so translucent.
With a corn flour, corn starch, or just like wheat flour, like bread flour?
You can use wheat flour or corn starch.
Ah, okay.
I think cornstarch should work even better because it's kind of smoother. It won't add texture because it shouldn't.
Right. And it'll add thickness too.
Yeah. Alrighty, we got at least the last one without blood. This Dave shot. Yeah, interesting story, and it's real. His books from his childhood, which is pretty touching, kind of. Well, great shot. I would probably, it's me, and I know that Dave did it for purpose. But for some reason, I like to kind of see the difference on the how book look through the screen and without screen. So because you see, we see this little stuff on the screen, it's not like just a hole. And the rest, it looks like almost like, well, it's just like a opening instead of a screen. So I would like to see some change in color, maybe change in, well, in something. So it will be like through screen, you know. That's the only thing from technical standpoint how I would do it different. Again, it's not like it's bad now or something. It's just preference, probably just personal preference. What do you think, guys? Any thoughts here?
Yeah, I really like the concept. I was a little bit confused where that blue light is coming from on the keyboard itself.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it's real from the keyboard, so it's probably was.
Well, probably if he actually shot his computer, it's maybe coming from the screen.
Oh, that's
yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Agree. Yeah. So it was the screen. Yeah, with blue books it works fine, right? Because books are kind of have a lot of blue color. So even different one, but still, I see it. Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you, Dave. We kind of critic a little bit.
Hey, any of you guys seen his Davis' first shot?
The shot?
The one you took out.
Yes. Yeah, it's, well, interesting shot. But again, like I said, I was surprised that Dave took it out, but he probably got some responses.
Which shot are you talking about? You're not talking about the one he did years ago, right?
No.
It was
the first one you had
he had a Bible.
the Bible with caution tape wrapped around it.
Oh, I missed it.
He said he got a lot of hate mail over that. So
he did on his. Did you guys see his other shot? Jeff and Sandra, right? Yeah. He had put on. If you go to his thing, and I think it's under his album called Concept 4. There's a shot with a Bible with a knife through it. And he said he got a lot of flack for that years ago as well.
Yeah, I watched The Hangover last week. So.
Oh, okay.
The Hangover.
The Hangover, huh?
I was like, okay, and where are you going with that?
Yeah, looking at what happened last few years, with Quran books, with Bible, with all this stuff, it's just crazy, and I kind of told myself, I better never touch that kind of thing because it's just, well, we didn't grow, the society grow enough for that kind of stuff here and even in Europe yet. And I removed, if you're talking about this, I removed image from a forum from Alan.
I don't know who did it, but I had seen the shot before.
Alan Six did it. And the last thing I want to do, and I hate it's, I don't like this stuff. Removing somebody else's work from hosted sources, I hate it. But because it was the combination of that kind of thing, which it may be even much more dangerous than Bible, because it was Quran, it was flame, it was, better than like that. So, that's interesting. Book, book can be so much different, and So, I have idea for next assignment, which is not book and because I want to turn more towards a product photography, but I always want to mix it with conceptual stuff, which Dave does. He does a great job, and I need to learn a lot of stuff from it because to shoot product, it's sometimes it's technically challenging, but it still can be plain shot. And we always need to think how to tell a story shot. And in any case, it works for product photography very well because it's great advertisement shot has to be like this. So let's shoot It was actually an idea from one of our followers on the Google Plus. The speakers, audio speakers, right? Audio speakers with or without microphone. Because speakers, I have few even here. It's like they're glossy. They look sexy if kind of if you shoot them interesting. And well, many ideas for product photographer how to shoot the speakers. Any kind of speakers. If you look at high-end stuff, if you look at the websites or catalogs, you'll see how cool they look, almost like a jewelry. Those speakers. So let's shoot speakers. Again, we'll try to do not just a product shot, plain, even nice, but let's add something like an advertisement shot, so telling story shot. It can be just speakers alone or with microphone, so the whole idea, or well, say anything else, but the main subject is speakers with or without mic. Okay, so this will be next assignment. You like it? Does it sound good?
Yep.
Sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of, like, if you were going to ask us an idea, I was thinking at some point we should do a food shot.
Good. Very good.
I mean, we've seen a couple, like tonight we had the milk and the cookies, and we had somebody, I think it was when we did the red wine bottle weeks ago, we had somebody did, like, it was like some sort of pasta, but just to really focus on the food. And then I think somebody had posted I think it was on that milk and cookies, doing more of a tilt shift kind of thing where adjust the depth of field, right? Because instead of it having the whole thing in focus, just like focus on a piece of the food. And I've seen that in your shots too.
Yeah, tilt shift is a really good thing for food. And many food photographers use tilt shift lens. It's like architecture, food, and some of product photographers like Bipra he'll use. So yeah. So you want to do it instead, or like next idea for the next assignment for other assignments?
That was just an idea. If you had thrown it, I was thinking about it today. I thought, well, if he's going to ask, for suggestions,
let's do speakers and then food. You know what I'm thinking? I will add on the forum. I will add topic like ideas for future assignments.
Great.
So let's throw the stuff there, and we can actually discuss, or even I think there is voting system, so we can vote stuff which kind of I would like to do this, and it will be easier to pick up for me to the best next with most votes or with most discussion topic, and we'll shoot. Because yeah, I want to make sure that we shoot interesting stuff not only for me or for Dave, but for everybody and for guys who watch us, so they can go to forum. By the way, I kind of talking about this, but I never promote my website. I need to do it. The forum is on akillstudio.com/blog. It's a forum there, blog there, and well, if you watch this hangout, I hope you know this place. By the way, one and last for today announcement: we are going to move the whole thing to another place, so it won't be Akill Studio blog. I don't want to have it. It's kind of grow too much for the blog. So it will be not a blog, but like educational portal, or say something for studio photography, dedicated to studio photography. And hopefully I will get much more interesting stuff going on there with other photographers posting tutorials and that stuff. So cool news coming soon. I just need to finalize the work, because it's a lot of work, and if you do it alone, it takes a lot of time.
You're just planning to separate the forum out of your main portfolio site? Is that what you're trying to do, or? No,
forum will be there, but the blog, this forum with everything, it will be moved to another source. So it will be, because you see, the blog, it's like my blog where I post my stuff. That's how it started 3 years ago, or 4 years ago. And we grow. It's now in the community, and I want to kind of keep growing it, and I don't want to be my blog. I want my blog, personal blog, and I don't have it now because I can't put my personal stuff on Akill Studio, right? So I will have my personal blog, which may have photography, may not. Everything what I have in my head will be there, and it will be on different URL. And the blog will be moved, and it will be like separated. Same structure, same everything, but it will be not a blog anymore.
And then what will you do with Echo Studio? What will you? Are you going to keep
not
that?
an Echo Studio. No.
Oh, so you'll totally kill that then.
Yeah, we got very cool. I don't want to say it right now.
Yeah, don't give it away.
Yeah, I have we registered a very cool domain, and it's I love the word, and well, it will be there. So it won't be Echo Studio. It will have nothing which will point directly to me. You know, like on the names.
Right.
And yeah, I said I hope guys will have more contributors there because well, I hope you can do it.
Yeah.
Some of the.
And then what about your your portfolio? Are you keeping that, the colorscope.com?
Yeah, colorscope.com. It's portfolio. Yeah, portfolio will be there. It's
okay.
Yeah, you know, many things changed since last year, since Google Plus basically. So I need to rethink the whole idea of where I'm going to. This photography is everything.
Are you doing all your own websites yourself? Or are you getting help with? Do you have outside help for the website?
No, I do. Well, we do everything on our own. Really, it's 2 of us so far. Sometimes we have some help, but it's like sporadically. You know, I didn't have my biggest problem. I don't know. It's hard for me, you know, to find the right people, to hire them, and to kind of distribute tasks to do.
Right.
I don't know. I need to learn it. So far, I'm doing everything myself, and that's why it's slow and not maybe in some areas not as good as it could be because of my English or something. But anyway, we grow and we'll be there. So.
Yeah. Cool. And weeks ago, you mentioned something about you have your own. Are you hosting this on your own server?
Yeah, I have.
At home, or do you have an outside?
No, it's on GoDaddy. It's a virtual private VPS, private virtual private server, right? How is it called? VPS on GoDaddy.
Okay. So you have space there. It's not like it's not located at your residence there.
No way. Yeah.
Okay.
I had some issues with when I was managing it through Telnet, I mean SSH, and you know, doing stuff as root and doing it not carefully, and you can ruin whole server with one click of the button. So that's what I did.
Yeah.
So it's in the cloud?
No, it's not a cloud. No.
Yeah,
I think GoDaddy doesn't have cloud. Yeah, I have some backups now. And probably I'll move somewhere from GoDaddy, but I'm thinking about a real dedicated server. Sitting somewhere
we're kind of, that's mostly what I do for my job is online marketing and website design. So we use Rackspace a lot. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but that's who we use for.
Yeah, I heard a lot of good things about them, but you know, it's like they have a relatively high price for VPS. Is it good? Because VPS, you're still sharing sources. Is it? I mean,
yeah, I mean, you can get a dedicated server.
Oh, dedicated, yeah. Because you see, so far, like, you can pay $500 per month for this, you know. So I'm kind of finding the best solution for the money. But like I said, hopefully somewhere in the summer we'll move to dedicated server, which can cost not that much if I buy just the server somewhere. And yeah, I will need somebody who will manage it, like sysadmin, because I'm not going to touch it anymore. Okay, hour and 30 minutes. Any questions? Are we good to go? Anything we need to discuss now? What do you think? Because I can do. Excellent. So thank you guys for great hangout. Thank you for help of discussing and critiquing all this stuff. And let's meet next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, as usual.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you, and Sandra and Jeff, newcomers, kind of. I see you guys new first time in Hangout, and it's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.